All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Mind of A Genius. And today I am extremely proud and happy to have an icon, I don't know what to call him, a legend, for that matter. I have with me here Bobby Pulido, and I am excited to really, really get to know this genius we have here in the studio. And Bobby, thank you so much for doing this.
My
I really,
pleasure.
really appreciate it.
Thanks for the invitation, man.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a really, really good one. Like I said previously, music is a universal language, and I believe when I hear your music, I can feel some sort of. I'm an African. I'm African.
Really? You don't say.
Right. And I can feel that language that I have.
Right.
And so hearing it, the beats, the sounds, everything, there's some familiarity towards it. So
That's awesome,
I'm excited
man.
to really talk to you about it.
I'm
and
excited
everything.
too.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Beautiful. So before we get started on every podcast, we have a quick rapid fire
Yeah.
questions for
Cool.
you. And I have something for you. It's really, really simple. You're going to choose one or the other. All right. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Would you choose Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
Prince or Madonna?
Prince.
Prince or Whitney Houston?
Prince.
Prince or Vicente Fernandez?
Now you made it very hard on me, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, Vicente Fernandez, my favorite singer of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Vicente Fernandez or George Strait?
Vicente Fernandez.
Vicente Fernandez or Elton John?
Vicente Fernandez.
Vicente Fernandez or Tina Turner?
Vicente Fernandez.
Wow. Vicente Fernandez or Luis Miguel?
Vicente Fernandez.
Vicente Fernandez or Stevie Wonder?
Vicente Fernandez.
Vicente Fernandez or Marvin Gaye?
Vicente Fernandez.
Okay. Well, last one. Last two. Vicente Fernandez or Bad Bunny?
Oh, come on now. Vicente Fernandez, man.
All right. Last one. Vicente Fernandez or Bobby Pulido?
Vicente Fernandez.
Wow, that's incredible. He is your favorite artist of all time.
Singer of all time.
Wow. What causes that familiarity to where? What makes you love him so much?
He's truly he has a voice blessed from God.
Wow.
You know, his son Alejandro Fernandez is a very accomplished artist and great singer, like super. I went to Vicente's last show at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. I was there, 100,000 people, and I will tell you that they both sang together, and Vicente made him look small.
Really?
Oh yeah. Vicente has one of those voices that is, it just it's eternal. And I met him. I got to meet him. He was very nice, very kind. Gave me lots of tips on singing and stuff like that. And talked to him in his hotel room for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and such a great singer, such a great artist.
I can see why you chose
And
him.
and mind you, I'm also, in case you haven't noticed, a huge Prince fan, because we talk about a musical genius. I don't take that word lightly.
Yeah.
It's easy to call somebody a musical genius, and most of them are not.
Yeah.
He was, and he was just true, one of my favorite in the pop world.
Wow.
Yeah.
You still chose Vicente Fernandez over him.
I still chose Vicente over him. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd choose anybody over Prince in the pop world.
Wow.
In case
That's
you haven't
incredible.
noticed. Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, beautiful. So, in case you haven't noticed, I am wearing my cowboy hat and just to honor Bobby. So,
Oh, thank you
I
so
know
much. I appreciate that.
that's your thing. I'm like, can I borrow it? I actually texted you and say, hey, can you wear it so I can wear it so we can match?
Yeah.
So it's just because I really love the way you rock it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And in marketing, when we talk about brand building, you've built a solid brand. So this is part of your brand.
It is. It is absolutely part of my
Yeah.
brand. Always has been.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So I want to dive right into it.
Yeah.
I know that you are an icon and again, like I said, a legend in the Tejano industry. Bobby, if I don't know what Tejano means, how would you explain what Tejano represents?
Well, it's Texan in Spanish. It's basically a Texan with Mexican American Latino roots. Hispanic roots in many ways. We do have Spanish blood, but we also have Mexican blood. And so we're kind of a guacamole, which is a mix of everything, and that's what a Tejano is.
Yeah. And what does that represent for you as an identity?
It's everything. It's. I mean, I'm sure you're a proud Ghanaian when you gave your TED talk and you dressed up in your suit the way you. I think you can feel me, right? And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Here in South Texas, we have a way of being, and I think we're all pretty similar. We eat the same type of food, speak the same type of language, and it's pretty neat. It's very, very. There's a lot of pride involved in who we are.
It's a culture.
It is a culture, absolutely. Yeah.
That's incredible. So then, you grew up in just a musical family, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, my dad's a pioneer in the Tejano music industry, Roberto Pulido. So it was real hard to get out of his shadow because, he's a big one.
Yeah,
he's a big fish. So, but I was able to do it over the years and make my own path.
What was it like growing up with a father who was an icon or a legend as well?
It was interesting. I think I had an interesting life. I was real studious growing up, but in all the vacation times and stuff like that, I was definitely go on the road with him, sit behind the drummer, kind of absorb that whole atmosphere of the music, study how he performed and study how the people responded to him, and I learned a lot. I'm very observant and being able to be around that atmosphere, I think, was really helpful for me.
Yeah.
When I started, even though I never wanted to be a singer, that wasn't my goal. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I studied political science. And, I received an academic scholarship to the University of St. Mary's to study poli-sci, and that was never the plan. Was to be a singer. I just liked music, and my mom's father is also a world famous norteño accordion player, and he played with a musical band called Los Oreños. They were one of the first norteño groups with accordion and bajo sexto. So I have the lineage on both sides.
What?
Yeah. So
your blood, like you got music in your blood, literally.
It's yes, and
That's incredible.
all my kids, have musical ability. All of them.
Yeah.
They're all musical.
Did you learn, or did you have to do anything extra on the music side, or did they come to you naturally? Because I know you said you were going to school for poli-sci.
I mean, music came naturally, but you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna just get into the musical business and be great." No, you got to put in the work. But as in anything, if you're a great athlete, that doesn't mean you're going to make the NFL. But if you're already a great athlete, and then you work hard and work and train to be a great receiver or whatever you are, then you have a better chance at succeeding in the NFL than somebody that's not a great athlete. It's the same with the music, right? You have it, but you have to cultivate it, and you have to really put in the work and the time and the discipline and all those things that you need.
What were some of the challenges you faced, growing up and starting in the music industry? What were some of the challenges?
My shyness. That was the hardest
You
thing.
don't look shy at all.
I am extremely shy.
Really?
Yeah. I was always that kid that my dad would have to get mad at me and tell me, look at him in the face when you shake their hand, tell him your name. And I was always like, hello, nice to meet you. I would really wouldn't make much eye contact. So that was my biggest obstacle. It was my shyness, because it just and it also hurt my reputation, because sometimes people would kind of look at me like, I got the reputation of being a little bit aloof, and just because I once I get to know somebody and I'm like, I open up, right? But it's hard at first, and it was really difficult. So that was the biggest hurdle that I had.
And so once you started, getting into the music industry and everything, I'm sure that, like you said, it takes work. It takes hard work to really, really get in and be successful like you are.
Yeah.
What did you have to do to get to where you're at?
Well, I took voice lessons. I did. I mean, I signed a record deal and was not a professional singer.
Wow.
And it's one of those things that I was probably not ready. But I'm a quick learner, and I started taking lessons with great teachers.
Wow.
Worked hard. You got to put in the hard work, and you also got to put in the smart work.
Yeah.
And you know, you can probably appreciate that if you're gonna get into something in a brand, music, whatever, you got to know the business and know the industry and kind of probably have a knack for what people want. It's like it's no difference like than any other business. So when you're cooking the food, which is the music, you gotta kind of anticipate what the trend's going and what people would accept and what they won't accept, and so it takes a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thinking that goes involved in it. It's not just about being a great musician or being great at your craft. There's so many different things and elements that come into play for you to be successful.
Yep.
You know, so I'm one of the biggest things that most people overlook is the quality of the song. And you know, Quincy Jones always said it's all about the song. We're in the song business, and it's true.
Yep.
You know, you can have a lot of good songs that are just okay, and really try to produce them well and make them a hit, but you're essentially turd polishing, because the song is what matters at the end of the day. And so when I'm looking for material, I'm very picky, extremely. And I think that's the secret. One of the secrets is looking for songs.
What would it take for me to write a song for you?
Oh, gee, I mean, you'd have to be extremely fluent in Spanish.
We can do an Afro Tejano mix. You know,
Well,
that would
why
be
not?
nice.
It's never been done, I'm sure. I'm positive.
It will be the first Afro Tejano mix. You do the Spanish side of it, and I'll probably do like.
Even though there's a black guy named Dee Burleson that used to sing in a band called Culturas, and you know, as far as I know, he's the only black guy to ever sing in our industry.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he good?
Heck yeah. Out of San Antonio, Texas.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, was he singing in Spanish?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
In Spanish.
Oh, I
dude.
need to hear this.
I'm telling you, if you go Google Culturas, Grupo Culturas, he was the lead singer. Him and another girl were, you know, there was a guy and a girl singers. Yeah.
That's incredible. So who knows? Maybe we'll get.
You never know. There's still hope for you.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I just need to do more Duolingo classes and.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Sharpen my Spanish a little
that
bit.
Works.
Más o menos.
Yeah.
So, and I know that I saw the TEDx talk you did.
I saw yours too, man.
Oh
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you. You did amazing. And in the TEDx talk, you talked about some of the challenges you faced. Being from America and trying to penetrate into the Mexican market.
Yes.
I kind of want you to talk a little bit about that. I know you've already, gone into detail on during the TEDx talk, but what was that experience for you? Like, what was the emotional aspect to it? Because I'm sure you sometimes thought about it and maybe it had a toll on you or something.
Well, it was hard work because the language barrier is a big thing. Our music is always sung in Spanish, but we don't speak it well, and that hurts us. And so a lot of times they kind of judge you as being the pocho, the guy that doesn't really speak Spanish well.
I wanted to ask you, what does pocho mean?
A pocho is a Mexican-American that is assimilated into the American culture, and you lose your Mexican roots.
Wow.
Right? And so the Mexicans kind of look down on it as you're kind of like, you're forgetting where you come from. And so, but sometimes depending on the context, it can be viewed as like, they're just kind of describing you in a funny way. Like, oh, you're a Porto, right? But it's not the nicest thing, but it was tough, man. It was tough for me because I grew up speaking primarily English. We would talk about, the normal food stuff in Spanish and words here and there, but I couldn't carry a conversation in Spanish, not correctly. And so it was hard. When I first went to Mexico, I had to do these interviews, and it was tough because all those interviews were in Spanish. Sometimes they'd use words that I had no idea what they meant. So, but nonetheless, it took me a lot of time, but I did it. I had a plan, and I set it in motion, and I worked hard.
What inspired that TEDx talk? Because I'm sure you could have talked about anything. What inspired you to give that specific talk?
I kind of felt, like it was when I was there writing what I was going to say and what I was going to talk about. It really reminded me of like when I'm looking for a song, right? When you're looking for a song to record, you're looking for a song that can connect, right? Then can connect with people. And so that's what I tried to do in the TEDx talk. I said, I want to find a theme that connects with people.
Yep.
Right? And there was other things I said, well, that would be cool to talk about. But when I put it down, I'd say, I'm not going to really, maybe the people down here in the valley would understand.
Yeah.
But I really wanted something that would be much more, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I decided to go in that direction, because we want to reach as many people as we can, right? Whether it's through music, whether it's anything, whether in your job, you want to reach as many people as you can, right? As a brand. And in the TED Talk, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What was the response after you gave the TEDx?
Better than I would have imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. It went viral and struck a nerve with a lot of people in a good way.
Yes.
We probably had about 98% or about 98% positive nowadays on social media.
That's high.
Man, I mean, if you're nowadays in social media with 50% hate you and
you've done a great job.
Love you, yeah, it's just crazy. But it was really good. It was really good response. It was accepted, and I'm glad to be a member of the TEDx family. I'm glad that they were, able to have me there, and I was able to do it.
Yeah. So then, because everything during the TEDx talk was about Tejano music, right?
Yeah.
Right now, where do you see Tejano music going in the future?
It's still where it always was, underground, right? I mean, we kind of went like underground, mom and pop music, and then the big labels came in and brought in a lot of investment, and then they left. And so now everybody's kind of back to doing it on their own and recording their own music and promoting their own music. And I'm sure eventually we'll get back up on top.
Yeah.
We just need to keep plugging along with the young kids and introducing them to our culture. And I feel like there will be a boom, and I will be the most happiest person out there to see that happen.
Who knows? Maybe I will give up on marketing and get into some Tejano music.
You never know, man. If you ride the wave and you catch it with a good artist, it can be really lucrative. Yeah, of course.
That's incredible. Okay, so one of the most popular songs I've heard personally, Desvelado.
Right. Yeah.
I actually did some research today.
Yeah.
And I just looked up what the lyrics meant in English.
Okay.
Because, we always see the lyrics in Spanish. And I listen to Spanish songs, and honestly, I just enjoy the waves, the beats, the sound of it.
Yeah.
I looked through the words that you wrote for Desvelado.
I didn't write that song.
Who wrote that song?
His name is Jorge Avena. He's out of Arizona.
Really?
Never met him.
No way.
To this day, I've never met him.
How did that come up? How did that happen?
My producer that first produced my first album, Enrique Elizondo, he was starting to look for songs for me, and that was one of the songs that came on,
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then, did you ever know the inspiration behind the lyrics?
Yes, I did.
And what was it?
Sleepless in Seattle, the movie.
What?
It was called Desvelado in Seattle. And when I heard it, I didn't like that. I did not want that to be associated with it. So it was. I think he was based on the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did
That
you,
wasn't my interpretation, but
Yeah.
that was his, I think.
that was his.
Yeah.
Did you have a different interpretation after you sang the song?
Yes.
What was your interpretation?
Selena had just passed away. Yeah. So I was listening to material. I already had assembled material when she passed away. And so, yeah, definitely the song reminded me of her.
Wow.
And that's what it says, listen to the radio every day. And
Yeah.
I want to hear her voice again and stuff like that. So it was kind of what a nostalgia that got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was an icon.
She was an icon.
Did you listen to
Absolutely.
her a lot growing up?
I knew her when we were little.
Really?
Growing up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of, how did you know Selena?
Well, she started out opening up the shows with her band. She was a little girl, right? Opening up the shows for my dad. And then later she became huge, and my dad was opening the shows for her.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So we knew each other since we were little.
Wow.
Yeah. We're only 2 years apart.
Did her death do anything to you?
Other than a big, profound sadness that still hurts to this day,
Yeah.
no, not much more than that. It hurt the industry more than anybody could. Our industry, there's, you can talk about, in a time frame of before Christ and right after Christ. Our industry was before Selena and after Selena passed. And there was a definite time period there where, I don't know if we fully recovered to this day, to be honest with you, because we lost our biggest star. At the time, she was definitely the biggest, and in her peak, she was peaking. It's and then the manner in which it happened was also really tough. So.
I honestly didn't know much about it until I moved to America.
Yeah.
Especially here in the Rio Grande Valley, and I started to hear a lot more about the entire situation, and it was actually very, very sad story.
Was for sure.
And but I think that her memory lives on with
It does.
The music that
She's
put out.
immortalized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You got you go to places and you got black guys singing Selena songs
of
and
course.
dancing
Yeah.
to it. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
incredible. And obviously you've come into the mix and really taken it to another level as far as Tejano music is concerned. You won the Latin Grammy.
Yes.
How did that feel, man?
I feel great because I'd been nominated 4 times before that, and I had one. Right? So yeah, I kind of get used to losing. Right? So you're not expecting to win again, right, or ever. But it was a great experience winning that award, and it, I felt it in that time. We needed it. I needed it as an industry. I felt I represented I've been at this almost 30 years. And I think I've represented the industry well. I've never had a scandal and never done anything that would shame my name, my good name, or my grandparents or anything like that. I'm not a perfect person, but I've always tried to lead a good life.
Yes.
And I'm a father of 4, twice married, and I love my kids and I love my family, and I love my family name too, and I've always wanted to keep it up high and do the best I can. My grandfather was my best friend, may he rest in peace, and he would always tell me, don't ever do anything to tarnish our good name, and that always kind of stayed with me, and I wanted to always honor that.
I don't know if this is a saying here too, that they say that a good name is better than riches.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so yes, I can definitely
Yeah.
relate to that. And a lot of the culture down here that I've experienced feels familiar to the culture back home in Africa.
Right.
And so
That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess that's what makes it very easy to assimilate, to be honest, and it's very family oriented and everything. So talking about your grandpa just brings me back memories and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's more to you, Bobby, than just music, right?
There's a lot more to me than music.
Yeah. What is something that you can say people don't know about you genuinely?
Oh, wow.
Something that you do, some hidden talent or hobbies.
I am a long-range shooter.
Really?
I am. and I'm very good at it.
I was about to ask, how good are you?
I'm very good.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to teach me then.
Yeah. I mean, I just had a personal best at a mile. I had, played about this big, about like that. About like
Oh
that.
my God.
I hit it 2 times in a row.
A mile range.
A mile.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
1,760 yards.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I have only one tattoo. They always said you can't only get one tattoo, right? I'm the one guy that only has one tattoo, and it's a crosshair of a scope, of a rifle scope. And years ago, when I first started in the music business, I had already been a while in the music, and I opened up a label called the Sniper Records, because I was always fascinated by the snipers and the kind of shooting that they do. And then when my son started playing youth football, I actually made a team called the Snipers. And
Oh my
the
God.
logo was the cross, and yeah, man, it was so that's a thing that most people don't know about me. I mean, there's a lot of other things that people don't know about me, but that's one of them.
Wow. Are you a football fan?
I love football.
What team do you support?
Houston Texans.
Okay, so then that makes it more special that you performed in front of them
Correct.
recently.
Yes, at the halftime show at the playoff game.
Wow. How did that feel?
Oh, gosh. You know what felt so good about it is I didn't expect to be invited to do that. Listen, man, I mean, we're in the United States.
Yeah.
Right? You go to a game, Houston Texans game, there's Latinos, right? There's black people, white
Yep.
people, Asian, Hindu, everything.
Everything.
And the only ones that really speak Spanish are the Hispanics. And so for them to go out on a limb and invite me to go perform in Spanish, halftime show, is amazing.
Yep.
Because, I mean,
Yeah, they didn't have to.
they didn't have to, and I would not have expected that to happen,
Yeah.
right? So I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity. And then, the fact that it was my team, that makes it even more special for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been supporting them?
Oh gosh, I was a Houston Oilers fan
Oh wow.
back in the day when Dan Pastorini was a quarterback, and I was a fan of Earl Campbell. So long time.
Yeah,
Long
yeah.
time. And then they moved it to Tennessee, and Houston didn't have a team for some time. And I became a Tennessee Titan fan for a little bit because I moved with the team, even though I hated the owner.
God.
Yeah, and then so when Houston had
You were a true fan.
I was a true fan.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Ride or die.
What do you think about the Cowboys?
I don't hate them. I don't hate the Cowboys. A lot of my friends and family love the Cowboys.
Okay.
And I wish them well, except
Yeah.
if they're playing my team. Then I'm rooting for my team. Yeah.
Always. So then, and I saw a lot of videos about you performing at a halftime show, and
Yeah.
trust me, it was like a sense of joy and pride to
Yeah.
see you on that stage.
Wow.
Man, that was crazy. And I know that a lot of people really, really enjoyed the performance, and I watched it. I watched clips of it on TikTok as well, and it was great. It was
Thank
crazy.
you.
It was
I
crazy.
got down. I got down off the stage and was walking towards the sideline, and I'll never forget because I was so nervous because I didn't know how. I knew how the Hispanics would respond.
Yes.
I didn't know how the non-Hispanics
Yep.
would respond, right? And there's this black guy, and he goes, and I'm like, badass.
You
man.
did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine if he enjoyed it.
Yes,
then
I'm
you're
good.
good.
I'm good.
You're
That's
good.
exactly- I feel like I made it. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's the same when people see me singing. When we go to karaoke, I would sing like
I
Luis
love
Miguel.
karaoke, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah, I am a
Okay.
karaoke freak.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good as I am?
I
That's
think
my-
I
that's
don't.
my
I've never
talent.
heard you sing, so I cannot judge you because you could surprise me.
Yeah.
You could surprise me.
Yeah.
So I have a funny story, right? So I
Yeah.
was living in Miami years ago, and I was dating this girl, and she told me my boss wants me to take this guy from Spain out. He can't see him, and so can you come along with me? We could take him to dinner. The guy's coming from Spain and so the guy we didn't know, had a house there in Miami.
Yeah.
So we go for dinner, and I'm not saying much, I'm just there. They're kind of talking. Everybody's kind of talking. He says, I got a karaoke machine at my house. Let's go back to my house and let's go sing. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. so we go, and so he gets up there, right? I'll go first. Okay. So he starts singing, start spreading the news. So he starts singing New York, New York, right? Not very good, by the way. And then he goes, here, what's your name? Bobby, you sing. And I'm like, I go, okay, what song do you want to sing? And there's an Italian artist called Gianluca Grignani that wrote and recorded a great song called Mi Storia Entre Tus Dedos. So I said that song. He's like, oh, okay. So I start singing. Of course, this guy doesn't know that I'm a professional singer. And I start singing the song, and he starts going. and he hits my now ex-girlfriend and goes, He's good. And he says, you can do this. You can do this professionally, right? And so, I'm just kind of laughing. He goes, no, I'm serious. You're really good. And I said, actually, I'm a professional singer. And he's like, well, no, why didn't you tell me that to begin with? So that was kind of a funny story. Karaoke story.
I would not go against you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If my friends are watching this, they're probably going to laugh because, they always tell me I have a terrible voice.
Oh, gosh, it's okay.
In the family, my brother has the best voice, not me. So
yeah, that's
but
okay.
I love karaoke.
Me too.
I can sing one of my favorite.
I don't ever like singing my songs, but because that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's not weird. I think that's kind of cheating.
It is cheating.
Yeah, it is cheating. Yeah,
it is cheating.
But I would sing like Adios, amor.
All right, okay, I feel you.
That's like the one Spanish karaoke song that my go-to.
Got you.
And when I start singing, everyone is like, "What?" A black guy singing
man.
Spanish song.
Definitely,
people love it.
Yeah, you definitely get some points for that.
Yeah.
You can definitely. I don't know if are you married?
I am not.
Well, then you can definitely court a girl out. Trust me, that's the best way to win a girl over, is sing to her.
Okay.
So try to get better. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Bobby is giving me some advice here, and I think I'll take it.
It beats guys with money too.
Yeah,
really? Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh. Sing to a woman, yeah, for sure.
So then if I get the voice and I can sing well and then get money, then
that's right. Yeah, that's just the icing on the cake.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna work on those too. Incredible. All right, so I know that recently you announced your retirement from music.
Next year, right?
Next year,
yeah,
yes.
Right. All this year I'll be doing performances and farewell tour. Yeah.
What inspired that decision? Because I know how much you love music.
I what inspired me is that I'm very plan oriented, and I always felt like I didn't finish what I started when I was going to St. Mary's University studying political science. That was my first love. That's what I really wanted to do.
Wow.
In high school, I was a Texas Boy Stater. So Texas Boy State, it's very hard to get into, and it's basically for high schoolers. And back in the day, they picked 2 from the one high school to represent in Austin, and it's all about government, right? So growing up, my favorite class was history and government. That's what I excelled at. That's what I loved. And, I thought about it, and I feel like I've accomplished a lot in the music business. Pretty much everything I kind of wanted to do. But I think there's so much more for me to offer. And I want to give it a shot and give it my best. To be quite honest with you, I think I'm more prepared getting into politics than I was when I got into singing.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I never stopped absorbing and learning and looking at the panorama, the political panorama, and what's happening, and so that always stayed with me. Where I had that itch. Yeah. Forever.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will have the question, why do you want to get into politics?
Because I love the idea of serving. And, I worked hard in music to be able to give me this opportunity to try this out and see what. Now, if the people are convinced that I'm good for them, then I'll stay there. And not, then I'd have to maybe reevaluate what I want to do. But, you know, when I got in the music business, there were no guarantees. You know, the only thing that I had as a guarantee was I was going to work hard. That's it. And it went well. My first album went double platinum, and you know, I've had a great career for almost 30 years.
Wow.
But I think there's much more to me than just my voice, my singing voice. You know, and I think doing the TED Talk kind of proved that to me as well, because I didn't have to go sing to touch people.
Yeah.
Right. And to let them feel what I wanted them to feel. And so I think in public service, it's the same. I think honesty is a virtue that is lacking very much in politics. And I believe that that's my best virtue. And even though sometimes, you know, people don't want to hear the truth, but it's as long as it's from an honest place, I think people will understand.
Yeah. Politics is very, it's a very controversial.
It is.
You know, topic.
Yes.
How do you think you can help bridge that gap?
You know, it's hard. It's hard. I think right now, the political climate is, I describe it this way, right? I think we're all in the same room and we're watching two different movies.
Yep.
Completely different movies. So in order for me to get where I want to be platform-wise, I consume a healthy dose of conservative and liberal media. I do. I know exactly what is being said on both.
Yeah.
And I've watched both movies. And I think that's the only way you can bridge the gap. Because right now, the way it seems is most people are in their own informational bubble.
Yep.
And so if you consume conservative media, which right now is probably on social media, podcasts, and whatnot, the algorithms keep feeding you more of that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so you never get to hear the other side.
Yep.
You really don't.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you think the other side is biased and you know, whatever. And then if you're somebody that just reads the New York Times and sees CNN,
Yeah.
you're going to get a very liberal bias, and you're probably going to miss out on a lot of other things.
Yes.
And so I think the bridging of the gap is done through understanding what both of those movies are showing.
Yeah.
And I think it helps. That way you have a more comprehensive understanding of everything that's going on to give you a truth.
Yeah.
And hopefully be able to project the same movie for both sides.
Yeah. And I think that as a believer, I think we talked about this briefly. I think my biggest thing is how we need to find a way that we can all live in harmony and peace without the threat of violence, without the threat of just so much disagreement. I mean, healthy disagreement is fine.
Harmony and peace is never rewarded through algorithms.
I agree.
They just aren't.
I agree.
Right? If you go look at YouTube and you see everything, it's all this guy destroys this guy and this guy shames this guy. No, it's all
clickbait.
We live in a clickbait society where there's really no true depth as to what a person believes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think we have information overload because right now everybody is vying for your attention everywhere. Right? Social media, you know, the phone, social media, it's an addiction.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you want to know how big a phone addiction is? Who here, right? It's probably not the most sanitary thing, but who here has gone to the restroom and forgot their phone?
Yeah.
Right? And go, what? Now, what am I going to do now?
I didn't take it with me.
Right. You got to take it with you, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of where we're all at. It's something that I think is dividing us.
Yes.
And I think it's our responsibility, our job to kind of keep it at bay, keep it in its place, and not let us not let that bring out the worst in us.
Yes.
Right? In every way.
And for the most part, when you go out and talk to people, majority of people agree on a lot of things.
Absolutely, man. It's crazy. But when you're behind that screen or that phone,
Yep.
you can say a lot of things with no repercussions.
Yep.
I mean, it's different when you're right there in front and can get punched.
Yeah.
I mean, people are a lot more careful in the real world, right? And so we think that that's the real world, and it's not.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah. But, I think at the end of the day, people can tell, or, they can see, especially when it comes to leadership, the true you.
I agree
think
with that.
For the most part, I know that a lot of people will be extremely happy to support whatever it is you decide to run for.
Yeah, sure.
We're not announcing it yet.
No, I'm not. No.
But I'm sure that you will get a lot of support, not because of what you've done in anything,
Correct.
but because of who you are as a person. I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's when the time comes, people will hear me talk about policy and in depth. I
Yes.
promise you.
Yes.
I have a lot of information up here and a lot of things to say that I think are very relevant in today's society, politically speaking. And I have a farewell tour I need to do.
Yes.
And because of the political climate where everybody is so polarized, I don't think I'll get a fair shake if I come out and say, I'm going to run for this and I represent this party.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yep.
I really believe that we've come to the point in politics where the red and blue tribalism is more like the Crips and the Bloods. and we're acting like that.
Yep.
And I would like to think that if you're going to serve the people, right? Tribalism is the absolute worst thing that can happen. You belong to a party, but the party doesn't define who you are.
Yep.
What defines what you are is your beliefs, right? And I think at the end of the day, that's what's most important. And so that's why I haven't really come out and said, I'm going to run this, and this is going to be my platform. And, I can promise you, you will not hear me talk about any type of politics on stage. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not the point. It's when I hang up the gloves and I start talking about policy, right? It won't be on a stage, or in that thing. Now, it's different if you do a town hall or you do something like that where you're going to talk about policy. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't foresee myself, going to a show and saying, you guys should vote for this or go support this or go support that. My music's for everybody, man.
Yeah.
If you agree with me, great. If you don't agree with me, I still love you. And
Yes.
I hope you enjoy my show. And, it doesn't change. I think I'm a good person.
Yep.
I want I think most people are good people. And at the end of the day, we all want the same things. Yeah. I mean, we want to be happy. We want to live a fruitful life. We want to pass on our legacy to our kids, be good parents, have a great relationship with God.
Yeah.
For the most part, we all want the same thing, and the question is, how do we get there? I think the messenger matters.
Yes.
And the message matters too. So I plan on doing that eventually, and you will definitely, everybody will hear what I have to say. I promise.
No, I'm definitely excited. I know you make a lot of change and a lot of good difference in our community, our society, wherever you choose to represent. And so I'm super excited for you, man.
Thank you.
This is going to be a great thing that you're going to start. I guess then my next question is, do you have, aside the venturing into politics, do you have any exciting projects you have coming up?
I recorded a live album in December. Bobby and with a bunch of friends of mine, 15 artists performed.
Oh, wow.
I did a residency at a casino in Monterrey, so I performed at the same place 5 times, 5 different dates, and we sold out all the dates. And so we had an average of 3 different artists every night. And so that project right now is the one that's kind of taking shape to hopefully come out this year.
Wow.
Where we'll be able to, put it out and promote it.
So goodbye.
Yeah, but I still want to do a last CD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
which will probably be out the following year, next year.
Wow. That's incredible. I'll be there for it,
Thank you.
And
I
I think I
appreciate
told
that.
you I need to follow you on one of your tours.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Be backstage.
It'd be
and-
fun. I'm sure I'll be doing a tour throughout South Texas. So,
Yeah?
So you're more
That's
than
awesome.
more than invited.
Yeah. I'll be there. Say less. Looking back on your career, is there anything that you wish you did differently, or any advice you would give to your younger self based on everything you've learned?
Not really. I wouldn't change a thing.
Hmm.
I think changing things would take the fun out of life, because I believe in destiny, and I believe everything that happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Even the bad things, and they really serve as lessons in life. And it had to happen that way because life isn't perfect. Life is life, and it's definitely highs and lows.
Yeah.
But the journey is such a beautiful thing. So I wouldn't change anything. Even though there's times that I went through things that I probably regret. I did things I probably regret.
Yeah.
Said things I regret or whatever, But they all make up part of who I am as a person. And there's no perfect human being. And I think life would be really boring if I had a perfect life. I mean?
Yeah, we all go through things.
Right, it
Yeah.
would be boring. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and I don't think I'm a boring person. So no, I don't want boredom in my life. I think there's been plenty of excitement, and there's hopefully plenty of excitement yet to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think people will remember the legendary Bobby Pulido as?
I mean, they'll probably remember me as a singer.
Yeah.
But I look at a president like Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
That just passed. And it's so much. He was probably not really well regarded as one of the best presidents, but I don't think any president was ever known to be a better man. And I would love to be remembered as a good person.
Yeah.
And I think, irrespective of anything else, I think that's the most powerful thing, because when my kids or my grandkids or great grandkids are out there, I think that would be my biggest gift to them.
Yeah. And I think, like you said earlier, your grandfather will be proud that you kept the
for sure.
Pulido name.
That's right.
Absolutely alive and proud, and I'm sure he's very, very happy and proud of you.
I'm sure he is. He was my best friend.
You've done a very, very good job with it.
Thank you.
And so, fast forward, I'm sure when you go on tour, there's a lot that comes with it, right? Is there any crazy story that has happened, ever?
Of course.
I want to hear it.
Of course there's crazy things that have happened. I mean, I got into my tour bus and a fan, I don't know how, I think she must have bribed the bus driver who was in the tour bus.
There was a fan in the tour
in my
bus.
tour bus. Yeah. So
Doing what? Just waiting for you?
for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was your reaction?
I was surprised. I was shocked.
Who are you?
Yeah, I mean that generally tends to be your little sanctuary.
Yeah.
It's your home away from home, right?
Yep.
You get in a tour bus and it's like, okay, man, that's your little cubbyhole.
Yeah.
And so it's like literally walking into your house and finding a stranger in your house.
Yeah.
Right? So, but you know that it comes with the territory. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I've had I travel a lot through Mexico extensively.
Yeah.
So, one time I got stopped. We were parked actually, and I saw some guys come in a truck, and they had machine guns.
Wow.
And they pulled up right to the bus and got off, and they had machine guns. And they said, "Where's Bobby? We want an autograph."
What?
Yeah, and they were not police officers. They were not police
He
officers.
just wanted that autograph.
He just wanted autograph.
The real question, did you give it to them?
The bus driver told him I was asleep. And I could see him. We had this glass, right, that you could see one way.
Oh, but they can't see you.
Correct. And I was like peeking out like, oh my. And the guy goes, he's asleep. And they're like, man, we're not going to do nothing to him. But at that moment, I didn't want to go like, okay, I'll take a picture with you.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they were
yeah.
kind of cool. They're like, well, on the other time, we'll see him. But man, I'll tell you, that's a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't predict. Like,
No.
yeah. You can only hope for the best.
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible. That's crazy. That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, I think hopefully maybe they can buy an autograph one day.
Yeah. I mean, just the other day, I don't know if you saw this on my social media, right? Mm-hmm. So I was announcing my tour date in Mexico City for the 9th of August.
Yeah.
At the Auditorio Nacional, which is their biggest stage, biggest place in Mexico. And there was a press conference I was going to, and literally my GPS I have a house in Mexico City, so the GPS from there read 20 minutes to get to the venue. I don't know what happened, but we left with an hour. Lots of time.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really punctual. Like, that's the one thing that you ask what people don't know about me is my punctuality.
Yep.
I freak out if I'm late. Like, I hate it.
Yeah.
And so the traffic just went like that and wouldn't move. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to be late. We're looking at the thing, and I'm going to be late. So I start doing a post, right? Telling the people I'm sorry, but this is the traffic and I'm late.
Yeah.
Right? And I there's nothing I can do, right? We left with enough time and it's just not moving. And Mexico City's a big, huge city, right?
Yep.
And so then I do another post, still here. We're moving like a turtle. I mean, the cars are just creeping forward, right? And so I said, they've told me that they may send a police car to come get me. Well, they sent a motorcycle cop. And so
What?
I jump on the back of the bike.
What?
And
I saw that.
And this guy's bobbing and weaving through the traffic to get me there. Right? And it's boom, 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 and I'm like holding on my cowboy hat. And my brother-in-law was driving with me in the car, so he got there 20 minutes later than what I got there. But I got there late, but I think people saw it on social media and they kind of understood. So I think that was kind of crazy.
That's funny. Yeah. I love that.
Listen, man, I'm a spontaneous guy.
That's an experience.
Yeah, you keep it honest, keep it real.
Yeah. I love that. I love that about you. Yeah, and I really respect that. Yes, like you said, I do know you're punctual. Like on time.
I am tirelessly punctual, and I wear down everybody with my punctuality. But I feel that punctuality is the biggest way you can respect your fellow person.
Yes.
Because you respect their time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure after all this fame and where the industry has brought you over the past couple of years, you could have easily lost yourself. What did you do to help you stay grounded?
I did lose myself years ago. I've been very blessed, not just to be successful, but I've been blessed to have multiple opportunities to learn from my mistakes and not commit the same mistakes twice. And so I had a moment in my career where I was buying sports cars and I wanted to show everybody how rich I was. I might as well have been a rapper. But I was like a Mexican rapper, right? But then you hit a lull. Mm-hmm. And everybody hits a lull in the business, right? It's never a steady climb. It's always up and down. And so I hit a lull, and I had signed $1 million contract, and I thought I was the king of the world, and you lose it. And then you start going, wait, man, I don't got that much money in my bank account anymore, and I have things, but I can't eat with things. I can't feed my family with things, and so I had to work my butt off to readjust my life and my family, cut my spending down, worked harder, and I rebounded fairly quickly. You know, in this business, you can rebound really quick. You know, if you got a hit going, you got noise, you can make a lot of money really fast. Yeah. And I was able to recover really quickly, but I learned a lot from that experience. And, you know, I'll never forget an interview with Will Smith, where he's talking about, you know, after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know, things went down. This was before he had the movie business. Yep. And his dad told him he was broke, right? And his dad told him, son, you got 5 cars and you only got 1 ass, right? And so that's kind of the thing that I kind of felt the same way, where I said, well, I don't need a lot, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need a lot to be happy. I've reached that point where I truly am not a materialistic guy, and as long as I can keep providing for my family, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed to do very well, and I don't want to buy anything else. I just want to help people.
Yeah.
And I help my family, and that's, to me, is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, I got 4 boys. 3 of them are, well, one of them's in college, the other one's in nursing school, and the other one is going to apply to law school.
Wow.
And I feel like me and their mother have done a great job raising them.
Yep.
You know, and I have a little boy that's 5 years old, and I'm sure, you know, we raise him with lots of love and lots of discipline.
Yep.
And I think that when you see a kid that does well, I think you can always see parents that did a good job. And I won't take the credit just for myself.
Yeah.
You know, I give my ex-wife a lot of credit as well. But we, as parents, we did a good job. I think my boys are off to they're good, you know, respectful gentlemen.
Yeah.
And that's all we can ask as parents.
Yep. They will keep the Pulido name proud.
Absolutely.
You know, that's definitely one thing I'm taking from here.
Yeah.
That I know I'll take with. It's very important. Like, good name. Just having that good name. It's very, very important.
You know, I saw an interview with Mike Tyson. This little kid interviewed him.
Oh, yes.
And he was kind of rude when they asked him about his legacy.
Yep.
And, you know, he said, the legacy not going to matter if I'm already dead. And I said to myself, you know what? That's a selfish way of looking at it. At some point, we're all going to die. But if you left a good legacy, you're not leaving it for you.
Yes.
You're leaving it for your kids, and your grandkids.
People
right?
who care about you.
And that right there is better than any inheritance you could leave them.
Yes.
And so I kind of disagreed with that.
Yeah. I'm glad you call it out too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very important. Sometimes we when we're in the moment, we get carried away, right?
Yeah, sure.
And you know, people can say whatever they want to say, but you're 100% right. Those people who will get to think about the memories that you leave for them, and how you remember them, the way you remember your grandfather, the way you speak about him, that's the legacy that he left behind for you.
No doubt.
Yeah. Okay, so I know we've gone a lot. We've had a very good conversation.
It's been great.
I have 2 more questions, maybe 3.
Shoot.
One of them is, if you had the opportunity to collaborate with any artist today, anyone, who would it be and why?
I only wanted to have a duet with one person, and her name was Rocío Dúrcal. She was from Spain. She had a lot of success in Mexico and all Latin America. Was a beautiful person. Her voice was awesome, amazing. And I got close. We had made an attempt to do a duet with her. And she had been diagnosed with lung cancer. Nobody knew it. So she'd kind of, you know, stepped away and she passed from that.
Oh, damn.
And other than that, I can't tell you that there's one person I've wanted to have a duet with more than her.
Really?
Yeah. I cried when she died, and it's just, you know, she was amazing. I was a guy that was from South Texas that went into Mexico.
Yep.
She was from Spain and conquered Mexico singing mariachi music, which is very Mexican, not Spanish. But she sang it with the absolute best feeling.
Yeah.
That she got Mexico. She got the feeling. She got it down packed. Better than anybody I've ever heard.
Wow. I need to look up who this is. Never heard her name.
Rocío Dúrcal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. That's amazing. I honestly thought you were going to say Bad Bunny. Just kidding.
I was not going to say Bad
Bunny. Just kidding. Okay, cool. So Bobby, you know, what's next for you in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's next. Listen, man, all I know is in 26 I'll be running.
Yeah. All right?
Yeah. I'll be running. I hope I win. I'm going to work hard.
Yes.
But I understand that losing is also a very big possibility.
Yeah.
I never take anything for granted. And I will let God guide me
Incredible.
and let my faith guide me. And God has He's never led me down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Really, He's never has. And I feel very blessed to be put in the situation to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't like. There's a saying in Spanish que uno hace planes y Dios se ríe. If somebody makes plans and God's always laughing, going,
Yep.
right? It's not my plan.
Yeah, it's God's plan.
It's His plan.
Yeah.
And our job here is just to kind of read the tea leaves
Yes.
and read the signs and follow the path.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And I'm sure with your goal to really serve people, I think committing that into the Lord's hands it's very vital, because I think service is more than just what you want to do. It's what God wants, the plan God wants.
I believe that.
To really serve His people. So I know
He's put me in this
incredible.
position.
Yeah, yeah,
And so that's an important thing for me.
yeah. Amazing. So Bobby, I have a final question, and this is a question that I ask every guest when they come on here.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to be a genius like you are,
I'm not a genius, man. I don't think I'm a genius.
in music, in Tejano music,
Yeah.
what is some advice that you would give to them?
I mean, it's easy, right? Everybody's going to say hard work. Well, what does that mean? You obviously got to hone your craft or what you do. You got to get better at what you do. If you're a singer, you got to be better. If you're a guitar player, you got to be better.
Yeah.
Accordion player, whatever. But I think most artists, young artists, don't do enough to really look for the song. I think they focus on other stuff.
Yep.
The hype. Oh, how am I going to promote this? Or how am I looking? Or even producing. How do I sound in the studio? But the most important part is looking for a hit and having the vision of recognizing that hit before it becomes a reality, right? So you hear a song and it's just I'm singing a song, I'm singing a na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, and then visualizing, how can I make this song fit in the format that would be not where the music is right now, but where it will be when I want to, or where I want to take it to.
Yeah.
Where can I get ahead of the curve and not be chasing the tail? Because it's real easy to go say, oh, reggaeton's the thing, then let me go do reggaeton. No, go find the next reggaeton, right? Go do something else get ahead of it. And that's, I think, is something it's a thinking man's game.
Yeah.
But that would be my advice.
I think I've heard a lot of this advice from people, even across board in business, for example.
Yeah, sure.
Focus on your product.
Of course.
If a product is great,
Yeah.
people will come. And it will make marketing
Like
or
Field
the
of Dreams,
promotion.
right? If you build it, they will come. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
So then, it's I think it's people can recognize good craft. And I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Listen, you can have a great product,
Yeah.
right? And you focus on a great product. The question is there a market for that product? Because that also matters.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta see is there truly a market or a need for something like I'll give you an example, right? Like I used to have a recording studio, right? And the recording studios businesses got upended, right? Because all of a sudden everybody started buying digital Pro Tools and recording at their house and had a home studios, right? So here I had a business of a studio that was, $1 million studio with all this gear and all this stuff, but the market.
Yep.
I had the best studio. Mm-hmm. And so you have the best studio, and I had the best product, but the market changed. So it's not just about the best product. It's about what are the needs of the market, and see if you can meet the market.
Move with the market.
Move with the market and what the people want. Then that changes everything. I hate to disagree with you on that, but
No,
but I think
yeah.
it's an important it's an important part, right?
It's like you mentioned. So, for example, even for what we do, at Brand Genius,
Right.
we could have the best, service when it comes to marketing.
Right.
But if eventually AI comes and disrupts everything, and we're
Right.
not able to quickly change with that and adapt, then we'll never be able to win.
That's
We'll
exactly
just be
right.
the same way.
Even
we'll
if
stay stagnant.
even if you're really good at what you do,
yeah,
right? But
Yeah.
it's not just what you do; it's what the game does. It's
Yep.
what everything. It's where the trends go. What do people want? And music's the same way.
yeah,
You know, there's been many a time I've recorded a song that I said, had this song been recorded 5 years ago,
it would blow up.
it would have blown up.
Yeah,
But now's not the time.
yep.
And that's, I think, part of the beauty of music and business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I feel like we could go on and
We
on
could.
and on, man. You have like nuggets of information, and I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you
For doing
I
this.
appreciate that.
And so, guys, thank you so much for continuously supporting. And thank you for watching. If you've watched all the way this far, definitely want to thank Bobby for coming on here, making the time to be here. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank
I know
you for
you're
being
very
patient.
busy.
I know we touched base in December. It was
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a man of my word, so
Yes.
here we are.
I really, really love and respect that.
Yes, sir.
I think there's so much to the conversation that we've had today that can be obviously had again.
Yeah.
And I know that when you go out there to serve the people, you would do it from a place of love and a place of like,
No doubt.
just great and determination to make a difference.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm so glad you came to the Valley.
Yeah.
We need more diversity. It's awesome, man. I mean, it's diversity is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It really is. It's if you open your heart and you open your mind, we're gonna all benefit from it.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think if we do it right, it's something more beautiful.
And we did say we're gonna have Tejano Ghana music. So
Yeah, there we go.
who knows?
Tejano.
That is so good.
Gotta make the brand, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Tejano music.
Tejano music.
Okay,
right?
okay. So it's coming soon.
I like that brand.
Yeah. I mean, you might have created something, man.
You never
If
know.
I had a good voice, who knows? Maybe I could.
Give me your brother's number.
Yeah, we can get him on. I'll manage him and everything. But no, that's incredible. Thank you so much.
You got
God
it.
bless you for doing this.
You got it, man.
And guys, like I said, please don't forget to subscribe and share this video to anyone who might need it. Anyone who really wants to get into Tejano music, because I mean, the legend. He doesn't like. He likes to be humble, but I call him the legendary and the genius Bobby Pulido. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Have a good one.
Thank you, man.